Hello everyone, welcome to page 175. This is chapter 3, lesson 4. It will be working with division patterns. So it says you can use basic facts and patterns to divide multiples of 10. So example 1, a monarch butterfly can fly 240 miles in 3 days. Suppose it flies the same distance each day. How many miles can it fly in each day? So we know that it's 240 in 3 days, so if we're splitting that up equally amongst 3 days, that means we're going to divide, because we're splitting up the facts. So since 240 is a multiple of 10, use the basic fact and continue the pattern. So when they say 240 is a multiple of 10, any number then that is greater than 0 that has a 0 is a multiple of 10. So 1360 is a multiple of 10 because it has a 0 at the end, just as an example. So we know that 24 divided by 3 is a basic fact. 24 divided by 3 is going to be 8. But if we start adding multiples of 10, so if we have 240 divided by 3, we're going to have 80. If we have 2,400 divided by 3, we're going to have 800. You have 24,000 divided by 3. That means we're going to have 8,000. And these are our quotients. So if you notice, every single time we add a 0, our quotient, let me rephrase that. Every time our dividend has a 0, our quotient also has the same amount of zeros. This is only for the multiples of 10 and the basic facts. There's going to be additional steps as we move on, so that's not going to be a rule for every division problem. Number 2, circle the pattern above that matches the problem. So our problem was find 240 divided by 3. So if I'm going to circle one, I'm going to circle that one. So the butterfly can fly 80 miles a day. If that is true, that is pretty impressive for a butterfly. Alright, so example 2. A cow eats 900 pounds of hay over 30 days. How many pounds of hay would the cow eat each day at this rate? So we have 900 pounds, and we have to split that up into 30 days. So we're splitting that equally in 30 days. So that's why it's going to be 900 divided by 30. So another way to actually write down, we just have to remember fractions or division problems, and I'm always going to include the fractions because I know students need extra practice on fractions. So this is the same as 900 divided by 30 equals h. So these are the same equations, just written down differently. So one way is we could use the fact family to help us. We know 3 times 3 is 9. But if we have 30 times 3, that's going to be 90. If we have 30 times 30, so we have 3 times 3, 30 times 3, 30 times 30, that's 900. So same thing, if we have 90 divided by 30, that equals 3. If we have 900 divided by 30, that equals 30. Now pay attention to these patterns because you may notice that the 9 divided by 3 equals 3 and 90 divided by 30 equals 3. One thing that you will want to know is this is where I like using the fractions. Whenever a number, so I'm looking at the fractions up here, whenever the numerator and denominator both end in zeros, this is only if they both end in zeros, some of them actually cancel out. So since there's a 0 on top and on bottom, we can cancel a 0 out from the top and the bottom. Now the top still has another 0, but the bottom is all out of zeros, so we cannot cancel any more zeros. So I know that when I do 90 divided by 3, that's going to equal 30, because we still have an extra 0 here. So we're still going to have our 0 here. That's just a shortcut. That's the method I like using, but you do not have to use this method. And that's only when the zero's in the numerator, so it's not when it's in the denominator. So 900 divided by 30 equals 30. So if you want to cross out the zeros that way, you can from the dividend and the divisor. And that gives us 90 divided by 3 equals 30. So another way is use a pattern in the number of zeros. You can so this is the way I was talking about. You can cross out the same number of zeros in the dividend and the divisor to make the division easier. So the dividend 900 and divisor 30 both have zeros in it, end in zeros. So I can cross out 1 from each side. And that changes from 90 divided by 3 equals 30. So 900 divided by 30 is still 30. Since H equals 30, the cows eat 30 pounds each day. So go ahead and try the guided practice and pause the video. So we're going to look at the patterns. If we know 5 divided by 5 equals 1, and if we add a 0 to the dividend, 50 divided by 5 is going to equal 10. So we add a 0 to our quotient. And 500 divided by 5 equals 100. So our final answer is 500 divided by 5 is going to equal 100. So just remember on the homework, so we have 800 divided by 2, 900 divided by 3. They're all multiples of 10. Just remember, especially for these ones down here, that both the dividend and divisor end in zeros. So stuff like that is going to cancel out. Just to help you, because there's zeros on both sides. But that is the end of the notes, so thank you for watching.